This is my review on Spider-Man Homecoming. So there's some flaws that I know about the film. Like, one of the number one problems with this film is Spider-Man's lack of not being funny. And I noticed this. This is the number one movie when Spider-Man jokes the least. Mystical Man and any of the franchise. I mean, any of the Spider-Man movies for live action. I'm not counting Into Spider-Man first because that's the most that he's funny in. Plus, I'm only counting the live action ones, and Spider-Man first is awesome. So, what's the movie about? Well, the movie's about like a Spider-Man recreates the awesomeness that was Civil War and reacts it and on his camera and reacts how awesome he was. And he gets to keep the suit that Tony made for him. He's very thrilled about this, and he is so eager to become an Avenger. But right now he just has to stick to the low grounds on being a friendlier Spider-Man, just being a kid for right now. And so and oh, you see my new furniture? Yeah, see, this is my movies that that's not all of the movies. Believe me, I have a lot more than that. You can see these can. Yeah. Anyway, I don't want to fall over and press the not record button, so. So, yeah, Spider-Man suits up as Spider-Man after school, and we see him making his own lead fluid, and seeing that it's pretty messy. He suits up as Spider-Man, and he's in love with this beautiful girl, but she hasn't noticed him yet. And it's not because she doesn't think he's attractive or anything. She has noticed him, but the movie hasn't acknowledged that she noticed him. Until he finds out he's in this spelling bee class, and he kind of ditches them, and this girl that he's into wants him to come. And after brushing off the sweat out of my hair. After he does his regular routine being Spider-Man and screwing things up and pissing people off accidentally. Now, the one thing that another thing they nailed absolutely is that Spider-Man is a number one, is a complete pro at screwing things up. Another thing that Spider-Man is a geek, and also he's a serious fan into superheroes. Like that kind of geek, a fan into superhero, a serious guy a guy that's seriously into superheroes. I think I'm using the word geek right now. I haven't really slept all night because I've been thinking this, so I might be using this word wrong, the word geek wrong. But anyway, a brainy person. He's a big brain person, and so it's like a person like in the comics, and and they know his like costume, right? It's actually the most comic accurate Spider-Man costume ever put to film. Seen on film. I personally like the costume that Spider-Man made himself, that we see in this movie that we didn't got to really see a good glimpse of in Civil War. I kind of like that costume more, man, because, well, it's just awesome. I mean, I don't really like that 1% more than I like the costume that we see in most of the film. But, I mean, it's kind of like, he made it as his costume in the comics, and, I kind of have a sudden attachment to it. To the costume he made. Than the one that Tony Stark made. Anyway, that's all going on about So after Dave's being Spider-Man, his best friend finds out he's Spider-Man, and he's freaking out because he saw him on the ceiling, and he tries to come with you that his costume's just a Halloween costume. It's a costume, like actual costume, and he points out who was on the ceiling and asks if Aunt May knows, and she says, no, Tony, and and his best friend says to everyone, Peter knows Spider-Man. And this is Melvin in the gym classroom, and he gets bullied by Flash Thompson, gets picked on by Flash Thompson, and he decides to just kind of suit up and try to show off himself to the party, but things go south, trouble happens. He runs into the Shocker, defeats the Shocker, then runs into his arch enemy, the Vulture, his main arch enemy of the film. And he kind of screws it up by the Vulture actually gets away, and saves him from drowning. Well, it doesn't really save him from drowning, just save him from being splashed in the water, from getting splashed in the water really hard. So, yeah, he tells him to stay up. This ain't up for the Avengers. This is way below their pay grade. So Tony says he's got it, and he listens to what Spider-Man says, but Spider-Man doesn't think that he listened to him. Until we find out in the third act of the film that he actually did listen to everything that he said, and took what he said was seriously, and did look into it. And Spidey doesn't really stay out of it. He still goes on his mission to, try to be the hero, and so he can be a real hero like the Avengers. And so he becomes buddies with this AI and while he's locked in this room for 20 minutes, he's surprisingly how long it took. How he said that's way too long, and the ice hit on this part of the teeth in the gave me it's stinging my teeth. So yeah, he talks about the girl, or how much he likes the girl, the AI, and he shut off the damage control stuff and hacked the suit, and so he now is AI, and but apparently Tony Alice Spider-Man and put it on has just in case he hacked the AI and hacked the system, so he kind of figured he would do that. So he had the setting on to easy, his AI, and it's set on to child's play mode. And when he's actually trying to figure out like this stuff about the Vulture, he's like, oh great. What setting is this on? And it's really funny actually. And we see that he and this is also in this part we see him doing impersonations of all the Avengers in the mirror while wearing the suit. And Zayak says comments on, "You're very good at impersonations." And so the scene that in this elevator, there's a bomb in the elevator, and Peter stops it by the chopper wants Spider-Man to go down and stay out of it, and he says he's going to die, and well, basically does something that he's never done before that could kill him. But he does anyway and ends up saving the girl, his friends, and the girl he really likes. And his AI says, "Pia, now's the time to make your move." And he almost makes his move, but the web breaks and he falls. So. So back to the drawing board when he's trying to figure out who the Vulture is, and I told him about that scene when he's doing the impersonations and stuff, and he tries to interrogate this guy and and the guy that I was interrogating, he says, "What happened to your voice?" That's not your voice. I know a girl's voice when I hear it. and he says, "I'm not a girl." Whatever, dude. And he says, deactivate the interrogation mode, and he basically talks to the guy and he gets some answers from him. The guy gives him answers because he likes Spider-Man and he thinks that he has some serious guts. Because he said, whoever going to shoot is going to have to be me. And last night when he to the Shocker guy, and he thought that was pretty ballsy. So he gives him information of him because he knows whether this guy's the Vulture is going to be. And so anyway, he either asked her out or she asked him out. But anyway, I think he asked her out, the girl that he likes out. Anyway, he asked Ami to help him get ready for his date. And Ami helps him. It's a pretty cute montage that they have to get helping Peter to get ready for his date. And so anyway, he so anyway, he's on his date already, and he finds out the Vulture is her dad, and he's like, "Oh shit, this is," and he's like, "He's shocking." Vulture hasn't found out until they're in the car. He basically puts two and two together, and because he recognizes Peter's voice when he hears his voice. And he says, he says, I was at the pie. He says, at the pie. And his girlfriend points out, no, you were only gone for a second, and then Spider-Man was supposed to show up. And then he figures, and he's just like, figures that he's Spider-Man. And he tells him to stay out of his way. And give my girl give her the happiest time of her life, and it's to stay on my way. And he thinks of and just as he's going to dance with this girl, he decides that he can't just turn around and not do the right thing. So he decides to be the hero. Although I don't think he decides to do the right thing, he doesn't really know that he doesn't seem. It doesn't seem like he sees himself as a real hero yet. And then he then he goes to the Vulture, and the Vulture says, Tony and the Avengers, they don't kill like common guys like us, Peter. Well, you don't care like we're on a lower food chain than them, and a lower food chain than them. We don't care about guys like us, not really. And he's doing this to get money so for his daughter can have a better life. And so anyway, Peter understands why. But he can't let him actually just do this because it's wrong. And so he ambushes Peter, and Peter's on all this rubble and solid concrete, and he's like basically yelling for help, and he's yelling for help and stuff. Was a real Yeah, because he's been done for help and stuff. And then he just about to, when he's about to give up, he looks at the mask and reminds what Tony says, which if you're nothing without the suit, you shouldn't have it at all. So Peter is starting to figure out what he meant. You know, was when he said it was for a little gag. He's starting to figure out what Tony meant by that when he realized that Spider-Man is not the suit. Spider-Man is Peter. So he lifts up the rubble and he says, "Come on, Spider-Man! Come on, Spider-Man!" And he lifts up the rubble and the concrete, and he goes after the vulture and tries to save the vulture. I almost choked on my drink. And he tries to save the vulture because his wings are a little fried. And so he saves the vulture after his wing collapses, and he lifts him, gets him off the rubble that his wing collapsed on him. And Peter tried to tell him that he's trying to save you. He's trying to save him, but he wasn't listening to the vulture. So after Peter saves him, he webs him up and leaves a note for Happy, Tony's friend, who Tony Happy works for Tony, so Tony wants to see him the next day as he's going to class, and Happy sees is impressed with, and so is Tony, of how well job he did after screwing things up a big time. Because how he screws things up is because, well, Tony saved his skin by early in the film when the ship was basically in half, and Spider-Man tried to hold it, web everything, and hold it in half, hold it together, and Tony came to save him, and then took the suit away from him, and so he doesn't have a suit, so he had to wear his suit that he made for the rest of the third act of the film. And so anyway, Tony says, you know, he screws up big time. He wants him to be an Avenger. And so Peter turns down the offer because from now on he just wants to, you know, stay a friendly neighbor to Spider-Man. And Peter says, this was a test. There's no really there's no like anyone willing to interview me right behind that door if I said yes to being an Avenger, right? And it says, and and Tony says, yeah, this was completely tough. And then you find out it really wasn't a test. He actually took down the offer that he could have been an Avenger, and have people interview him without him being an Avenger. And so Tony says to Pepper, he made a really mature decision. It completely outsmart me. Very surprised, Tony. So he says, "Well, there are people waiting to interview him. What are we going to do?" And he says, "Happy, do you still have that wedding ring like I asked you to hold on for?" "Yes." And he says, "Wait." And Pepper says, "When did you got that wedding ring?" 2008. So. The people and staff interviewing Spider-Man, he decides to basically propose to Pepper and Spider-Man Homecoming in front of everyone, in front of a bunch of in front of the entire public. So in Infinity War, they're engaged. So obviously, she said yes. So anyway, Spider-Man goes back home and sees that Tony left him a gift. He gave him back the suit they gave him back the suit, and he puts it on just because he wants to wear it, and plus it's for dramatic effect because it's the last scene of the movie. And Aunt May is sees that he's wearing the suit, so she says, "What the hell?" So it just ends like that. So yeah, this is my favorite Spider-Man movie, and I say it's as good as Master of the Phantasm. It has its problems, but it makes up with humor and heart, and it doesn't have enough humor. It didn't quite nail Spider-Man's sense of humor. But now I'm thinking of it, it did a pretty okay job for what it did nailing. It did a great job for the stuff, but the okay-ish job for nailing the humor that Spider-Man is known for delivering in the comics. So didn't quite nail it, but I'm hoping the next Spider-Man film it will nail all of the notes. So yeah, this or Endgame is my favorite Marvel movie, but I think it's this one.